Welcome to beautiful Argentina. You're watching The Edge right here on Wild TV. Number one factor, I think, this week has been weather. It's gonna be 37 degrees here today.
The roar's definitely starting to kick off.
Yeah.
We're getting right down to the wire. I'd be lying if I said we weren't sweating a little bit.
It's extremely important to me that we look to the future, tastefully imagining generations to come having the ability to choose to have a hunting lifestyle for themselves.
Hunting is what fuels us, it is what grounds us, and it is what connects us. Hunting is where we come from, and hunting is where we will continue to go.
Live on the edge, 'cause brother, win or lose, it's all in what you do with the chance you're given. Yeah, through the wind and rain, you feel your heart pounding. You got one shot, what you got? Tell me what's it gonna be? You gotta make the most of this opportunity. On the edge.
The Edge, proudly brought to you by Canis Athlete, Be the Wolf. Vortex Canada, the force of optics. Snowy Mountain Rifles. High Mountain Seasonings. Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Prime Archery, where accuracy is everything. Kifaru International, gear for life. Rambo e-bikes. Spartan Precision. Victory Archery, the carbon arrow experts. G5 Outdoors, designed to hunt. And these fine sponsors.
We're heading down to TGB Outfitters to see our good friend Alejandro. This area in La Pampa, known for great quality of free-range stag.
It was so hot during the days, like we're talking mid to high 30s. When it's that hot, they bed down in the thickest, shadiest trees and bushes, and there's nothing you can really do about it.
The stags, they're just not roaring. We're going to grab the buffalo gun and head out and see if we can't find us a water buffalo today. Here he is, our water buffalo, here at TGB Outfitters. So far, we haven't really had any replies. And despite the temperature drop today, we're having no luck just yet. No action. I haven't even seen a stag yet. At dark, while it's still cool outside, we could hear him in the distance. Torito was on the call, trying to locate the best we could, and then we'd rush in there as fast as we could, try to get as close as possible, but no response. A bit of a temperature swing today, but thought it might fire up the stags, but it has not. Careful what you sit on. The red ants just got me. You don't want to fall down or kneel down in one of those holes. Those red ants, one bit me in the hand, just one. You see how fast when you're coming through, you take a step and instantly there's thousands of ants just in your footstep. They'll literally eat a man right to the bone. Gonna wait here until the sun gets lower. I guarantee you they won't make a sound before it's almost dark.
Marlo, we want to see this as a little hope, though. We weren't seeing much action where we were waiting earlier, so we spent most of our evening playing the wind, which seemed to be swirling quite a bit. This heat is really not doing us any favors right now. We've seen a lot of sign. We know they're in the area, but it seems like everything we're seeing is fresh in the mornings, which means they're moving all night right now still. So we definitely know they're in the area, they're active here. They're just not moving much during the day because of the heat. We need something to happen and break our bad luck spell right now.
Last night when we were sitting for hogs, we started to hear some stags lighting up around us, and a few others that sat out for hogs heard the same, and the temperatures seem to be dropping a little bit, so we're hoping that's just what we need to kick things into gear for us.
We've got one, maybe two stags roaring back and forth. Mario has roared and they've been responding. The wind keeps swirling on top of a bit of a hill here, and every time we start moving one direction to try and cut them off and play the wind, they change directions and go a different way. So we're right now just playing a bit of cat and mouse, trying to close the distance and see if we can get eyes on them.
We weren't even experiencing roaring for the first few days. The sections we were in, we saw the sign. We knew they were in there. We were seeing the rubs. But just when it comes down to actually getting the one-on-one interactions and the roaring, as soon as the sun was getting close to coming up, dead silent.
We had 2, possibly 3 stags sound off this morning. Torito brought us right in. Next thing I know, he kind of went quiet. And we heard him raking his antlers in the trees. He came down in front of us. We never saw him, not once, but he was close, within 100 yards. Just thick, dense cover. As soon as he hit the wind, we heard 2 little barks. When they bark, they got you. So we hunkered down and just sort of sat there. About 5 minutes later, 1 more bark from out in front of us, and that was it. What a great morning. Let's get back and see how Joe's making out.
I thought he was going to come out, but he just kept pushing deeper and deeper into the thick. And he was responding to the roars, but as he was walking away, not as he came towards us. So the roars definitely starting to kick off, but they're obviously not too confrontational quite yet.
We had a stag fired up pretty good just before light. We're gonna work to the opposite side of this section, wait for the sun to go down. As the sun goes down, hopefully we can locate him and then pick our way through the bush.
We're set up in the shade right now, waiting for the sun to go down, and we spotted a hind beating about 500 yards behind us here along the fence line. It's a good sign because it's still quite hot, but she's out in the sun moving around. We're hoping that we might hear some roaring. Otherwise, we're just gonna start pushing through the bush in the area and see if we can't bump something out of its bed.
Switched it up a little bit from the stag hunt to an antelope hunt. What is referred to as the Blackbuck. Miss Wolf is trying to put a hole in one today. We're concluded on tonight. We swing and a miss for Kathy's Blackbuck, unfortunately.
That's hunting though.
But you'll get him.
We're back in here at the same spot as yesterday morning. Yesterday we heard a stag roaring just before the sun came up. We're in here half an hour earlier. Hopefully if he fires up again, we'll be able to close the distance that much more before he goes silent for the day. So hopefully we'll still be able to get a play on him, even if he does go silent at that point. We heard a stag roar in the distance, so we close a bit more ground. But again, they're roaring, but they're just not really fired up, so he's not responding. He went quiet right afterwards. So it's going to be a bit of a patient waiting game here as things continue to heat up.
Number one factor, I think, this week has been weather. It's gonna be 37 degrees here today.
We did check the weather just before arriving. We knew it was gonna be a challenge. You have to remember, this is 100% free range. It's not a canned hunt at all. You can't come in here with expectations and relating it to elk hunting. Quite often when you get in those situations with early elk season, you can get somewhere in glass. But out here, as you can see, the terrain's so flat, there's no glassing opportunities. So you're literally just in there putting boots on the ground, traveling from spot to spot and looking for them. And a few hot days of that, and it wears on you a little bit.
they're roaring, but it's like they're not confrontational yet. They're just open patches. And then all of a sudden you get to sections where it's like 200 meters of just this. And you can't get through anything. We keep having stressful hunts like this, and my beard's gonna start looking like yours.
You could only wish, bud.
We got to see them. They showed us how to set up an Argentinian cougar trap. Quick break on our way back to camp. Dorito is setting up a puma trap. And as you just saw cruise past the camera, that's a cougar trap right there. It looked like a very efficient trap. I think yours would likely have a lot more success than theirs. Especially
I got
as
moved.
it gets later in the night, I think.
I got moves like Jagger, bud. The camaraderie, you know, when you get into camp, the way they're doing things with the meals and the socializing after, you know, you can have an adult beverage of your choice. I think one of the special things, too, is the ladies that he has in the kitchen. He has 4 ladies that work for him here. They're all from Peru.
Yes.
And they've been with him for so long. But these ladies are unbelievable in the kitchen. This is all hand done right here at the lodge.
I told him if he makes a cookbook, it's gonna sell out. He won't even have to sell hunts anymore.
100%.
He can retire. I would buy that thing on the spot.
100%.
Yeah.
Kathy, up for Blackbuck here tonight.
Yep.
Again.
Again.
Another go around.
Take 2.
Well, we just spotted our first Blackbuck. He was out here. I saw him with my own eyes. Good dark body on him.
Yeah.
We just got done cruising for Kathy's Blackbuck. We thought we had one spotted, but he either disappeared or we might have mistaken him for a Rio, maybe. Great big bird that looks like kind of an ostrich. Anyways, it is like 39,000 degrees Fahrenheit out here. I would never elk hunt at home in this heat, ever. But what do you do? We're on a 7-day hunt and we're 6 days in.
Down here, this terrain may look gentle from afar, but it is far from gentle. And that's where I think we ran into a little trouble with the truck tires.
It appears as though Kathy made a bad shot. Ended up hitting her tire. She thought it was a pig, black pig.
Kathy just jumps right in and starts changing the tire. And so now I'm sitting back. I'm losing man card points faster than you can imagine. And I'm sitting there in my head trying to think, well, how can I get in and help here? Because I look like a schmuck right now. I said, well, hey, let me just make sure those are tight. I grabbed the tire iron, and the first nut that I went on, I broke the whole bolt off. Torito looks at me and he just shakes his head, and I threw the tire iron on the ground. It was game set match for me on there. So I lost some man card points for sure on that deal. Kudos to Kathy, but didn't exactly make me look like a champ.
Back sitting the same tent we've sat a few nights now, and it's been really quiet and really hot all evening. And a young stag just walked out the little 2 point. It's the first action we've seen in a few nights now, so not what we're looking for, obviously, but it is promising that he's up and moving this far before light, because up until now, we haven't seen much action until right at last light. We just bumped some stags. They're all hanging out in the low brush right now because that's where it's giving them the most shade and it's the coolest. Which just so happens to be the toughest place to get without making a lot of noise. Everything's so dry and so entangled that when you start walking through it, it's just inevitable you're gonna make a lot of noise.
I had a beautiful stag in my crosshairs, and we were not able to get him in frame because of a bush and a tree that was in the way for the camera guy.
You feel? No, we didn't see it. A little bit of a heartbreak right now. We weren't able to get him in camera in time. And because we want to be able to share this story with you guys, I didn't want to pull the trigger until we got him in frame. And he spotted us before we could get him in camera, and he spanned and run. But he was a nice stag, so that one stings. But we're hoping that's a sign of more positive things to come. Certainly things are heating up today.
We've got Sergio now, who's going to be our new good luck charm. Temperatures have cooled off quite a bit today. We're hoping a more aggressive calling approach today will get some stuff moving, and we're right on the finish line here, so we got to make something happen.
Typically on a stag hunt this time of year, you're using your hunt by ear. But so far this hunt, we've been using our optics a lot. And we're just adjusting the focal plane, picking through the layers, using it to adjust it. We're just looking for antler tips, or crowns, I should say, and the orange color of a stag. And we're just gonna have to keep using that technique until we can get a stag to respond to a roar. We just bumped 4 lines and they ran. And we had just started walking again. And we didn't make it 20 yards. And a young stag, young bull, jumped up right in front of us and ran off. Sergio stopped him for a second with a roar. And I got the crosshairs on, but he was very, very young. Looked like maybe a 2 point. But either way, man, was that exciting.
That evening, Torito and I were out. He got a response and we moved in as fast as we could. We actually got into a bit of a calling battle, which was the first time that happened all week. Now, whether you just got the right stag, whether it was temperatures dropping, combination of both, either way, it felt like it was going to happen that evening. Darkness set in on us and we just backed out nice and slow. I almost felt like he was setting it up like we would for a moose hunt at home, where you call heavy for a long period of time at night, because in the morning you can get in there and that bull will come in. And that's exactly what happened for us. Never got a response until about 7 a.m. But this time, he wasn't just locating, he was coming. He reared 6 feet off the ground and gone. I didn't even have time to get another round in. I mean, it happened that fast. Got him. Ah, we got him. Oh man, what a beautiful free range red stag that is. Well, there you have it, the conclusion of our hunt here in Argentina. I really didn't think it was gonna happen for stag. We've been getting pounded with heat here this week. Definitely way too hot to be productive on the stag activity. We were lucky enough to kind of locate this bull right at dark. Torito said we're gonna come back in here this morning. We must have got right in his kitchen and he barked back at us. He walked out straight into us. I had to take a frontal shot that made me panic during the recovery. But after reviewing the footage, you could see that we hit him solid. He didn't go maybe 80 yards and piled up. So to have that kind of success on the last day of a hunt, again, you know, the horseshoe gets shined up and tucked away, if you know what I mean.
You might need to lend that to me one of these days here.
Yeah.
I could have used it. I had opportunities at some smaller stags, and I had an opportunity at a great stag that I decided to pass on. It just didn't pan out in the end. A challenging hunt, but at the same time, just a beautiful trip. I remember why I love it down here so much. It's about the hunt, it's about the landscape, it's about the amazing people down here.
Well, there you have it, folks. An unbelievable week here in Argentina with TGB Outfitters. Big shout out to Alejandro for, again, his hospitality, his courtesy, and his friendship. We're definitely gonna be back.
And I can't wait.
You're watching The Edge.
The Edge, proudly brought to you by Canis Athlete, Be the Wolf. Vortex Canada, the force of optics. Snowy Mountain Rifles. High Mountain Seasonings. Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Prime Archery, where accuracy is everything. Kifaru International, gear for life. Rambo e-bikes. Spartan Precision. Victory Archery, the carbon arrow experts. G5 Outdoors, designed to hunt. And these fine sponsors. One of my favorite things about being here in Argentina is the amazing staff here. They just clean everything for you, do such a good job. Excuse me, you missed a spot right back there. Yeah, you missed a spot right back there. Nice. They work so hard. I absolutely love it. Wonderful. I'd like some new sheets when you're done too, please. Gracias.
Making TV, boys.